Okay, Sai, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yes, Darth Sai, I should say. I like the voice modulator.
It's pretty cool.
I'll say. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and dive right into it whenever you're ready, if you're ready on your end.
I'm ready.
Okay, so the first question that comes in is that when price feeds are introduced in the future for other additional features of tranches, what would be the project's choice of Oracle usage?
We will use Chainlink for our Oracle solution. Not only does Chainlink have the longest and most established track record in the industry, with smartcontract.com dating back to around early 2013, but they've also reached out to us a week after we launched Saffron to partner with our project. To me, that shows dedication, and it is something that we are looking for in a partner that's going to provide a critical piece of software for our smart contract system. I think that Chainlink has shown that they are the market leader in oracles. They've been thinking about the oracle problem for a long time. And I think that if there is any oracle solution that we would trust to be a decentralized, trusted oracle to provide value for Saffron, it would be Chainlink.
Okay, very cool. Regarding the collaboration with other projects, what is the expected goal or maybe roadmap for them following the incentivized SFI emission period?
So we have many pools on our page right now. I think there are 11 pools. And eventually SFI emissions will run out, and farming on these pools will be earning no SFI. And the eventual goal of having Saffron tranches applied to all these pools will give users value based on the smart contract system that we've created. So, for example, the lending pools such as DAI Rari and DAI Compound, those will have two separate tranches that have the low interest and low risk, as well as the high interest and high risk. And Uniswap pools will have IL mitigation and other features that we're planning to add in the future. So these pools, partner projects currently only earn SFI, but in the future we'll have extra features that we're adding into Saffron. And when the emission period is over, the features that we're planning to add with tranches and the facility and options that are given to the users based on those features will replace the rewards.
Okay. Kind of building on the collaboration aspect with some other partners, is there a specific concern that over focusing on these partner collaborations may take away from core development time on further product or new offerings for Saffron?
No, it is not a concern because we have not spent much time on this. Saffron cannot exist with only one pool or only one underlying platform. The goal is to have Saffron tranches for each DeFi offering, providing coverage to all deposits on DeFi. Currently, we have only implemented partner projects and partner pools with other companies and other projects that have reached out to us. So we haven't spent any resources on partnerships other than the small amount of time that it takes to add a pool to our front page.
Gotcha. So there's mention of joining the Binance Smart Chain, and what specific motivation would there be behind this?
There are two main reasons that we would like to expand to other chains, including Binance Smart Chain. The first motivation is that we want to expand our tranche product offering to anywhere that has a DeFi active user base. It seems to us that PancakeSwap, as well as the other DeFi protocols that are building on top of Binance Chain, such as Alpha Homora, will have an active user base. And the second reasoning is that we would like to have an option for users to have lower fees, and Binance Smart Chain promises this as a core feature.
Gotcha. So what would you consider your strategy for attracting more low risk capital to SFI? Is it somewhat of a waiting game until mainstream institutions discover and validate decentralized finance? Or are you actively targeting certain groups of investors? What's kind of, as much as you're willing to talk about, what's kind of the game plan here?
I would like to think of a waiting game more as a long-term strategy and expansion. I think that fixed income will play a big role here, where we are looking for low averse, risk averse users and liquidity providers who want to take either fixed income or take a lowered position of risk where their capital is secured. Right now, DeFi is in the early adopter phase, and early adopters by definition have a higher risk tolerance. So they are mostly situated in the junior tranche or high interest, high risk tranche. As time goes on, we will move into the adoption cycle with more and more users coming in who have a lower risk tolerance, and Saffron will be there as an established DeFi product and a financial instrument that will provide them with the low interest and the low risk that they are looking for.
Building upon that, Saffron relies on DeFi protocols like Compound, offering a base yield attractive enough such that a diminished portion of this yield is still enough to entice safe capital to invest. What would happen to Saffron if Bitcoin, and by extension crypto in general, ended up entering a bear market?
The thesis behind Saffron is that the total addressable market of DeFi will expand, and we are positioned as an early mover in the coverage and risk space. The fact remains that every crypto project is beholden to the bellwether cryptocurrency Bitcoin, and in a market downturn, everything slows down. Fortunately, we've raised over $1 million already in our first funding round, and a bear market will not affect us as much as other products who are overexposed to crypto asset prices. Saffron is somewhat reliant on crypto products and DeFi protocols such as Compound and Aave, but we expect them to expand, and we expect to also move into other products and other protocols as they come out and as they proliferate and as DeFi grows into a bigger and larger market.
Okay. I'm so glad that this question is one of the next ones on here. On a scale of 1 to 10, what level of importance would you attribute to short term price movements? On one hand, this is obviously a long term venture. On the other hand, capital is attracted to the platform, at least partially, due to the SFI rewards. If the price tanks, then capital could flee as returns become less attractive. Do you agree with that? And again, kind of what scale of importance would you put on just the short term day-to-day movements of Saffron's price?
I would put that as close to 0 on the scale as you can get. We have found partners and investors and community members who are interested in the protocol's long-term vision and are working to expand our community this way too. I don't think that price is something that we should be concerned with while we're building, because it is such a small look into the way that we can eventually in the future provide value to the space as new products come out and as new reasons are introduced, making SFI valuable. And as SFI enters into its 3 value model, which in my opinion is a very strong reasoning for SFI having value, then we will see the price appreciate if people agree with the long-term vision. And that 3 value model is first as a fee earning structure on the chain. For example, when you have fees introduced in version 2 of Saffron, the first fee will be an early withdrawal fee. When users would like to early withdraw from Saffron, they can pay a percentage of their DSEC tokens, which represent their interest earned, to these other SFI holders who are staking in that epoch. And that will be an example of some of the fees that SFI stakers can earn on the system. The second reason that SFI is valuable is because it is needed to join into the tranches and possibly will be needed to be paid a flat fee on top of some products that might cost a flat fee. So to be able to use Saffron and earn high interest and enhanced interest, you'll have to provide SFI into the system. And thirdly, we are setting up governance. So there will be an off-chain governance first and then an on-chain governance where you can vote on rates and vote on the direction of the ecosystem. And this makes SFI valuable because if you have a large stake in Saffron or you are using Saffron to generate income or to provide value in some way, then SFI will be valuable to you to have a higher vote weight, which will potentially make you more money and potentially align the system better. So these are the ways that I think SFI will be valuable in the long term. And these are the reasons I do not have a short-term outlook on the price of the coin.
Gotcha. Taking in a different direction real quick, outside of Saffron, which crypto project would you consider yourself the most excited about?
I think Alpha Homora is one of the best products I've seen in a long time. They have so many unique features and so many cool things that they're doing with their ecosystem that other projects are not looking into. For example, their liquidity mining is super simple and is straightforward and benefits all of their holders rationally and effectively. I also think that they are looking in areas and using creativity and their technical skill combined, which is something that we do as well, to create products that don't exist and are very useful in the ecosystem. I think that Alpha Homura is much like us in this way, and that's why I like them a lot.
That's great. Um, so when will the BTSE airdrop for Epoch 3 occur, essentially?
I know that BTSE rewards are still owed to Epoch 3 BTSE SFI stakers, and I am in communication with BTSE. I will provide an update as soon as the holiday break is ending, and we will have more clarity on when those rewards will be distributed.
So going back to your strategies in general, from what the community has seen from us so far, we kind of come across as more of a fail quickly and iterate type developer. Do you particularly prefer this method of developing over a more slower, nuanced approach? What is your kind of preference here, and what do you agree with that assessment?
My only preference is to create good working products. We are actually taking both approaches. We are working on things for long-term value, as well as iterating and building products quickly. I think that quickly iterating and building, as well as having a long-lasting foundation, gives us the best of both worlds. Currently, DeFi is at a breakneck speed, and the bull market is only accelerating things. So we have to have both to be able to compete and have long-lasting value.
So 2021 seems to be the year so far where cross-chain capabilities of projects will become particularly important. Is there any plans to make Saffron Finance a cross-chain project? Is the current focus solely on Ethereum-based decentralized finance at this point?
We launched on Ethereum because it was the most straightforward and it had the largest addressable market for DeFi. However, we are working on a few cross-chain compatibility initiatives right now, but we don't like to release news until things are actually complete or near completion. So you can look out for those in the future, but I can't say anything about it right now until we're sure that it's going to be completed in a relatively short time frame.
Okay, so going ahead to the last three questions here. As the SFI emission decreases and eventually stops once the max supply is reached, how will the SA tranche high APYs be maintained or even increased without SFI subsidization?
The APYs will be maintained via demand for the Saffron product on its own merits. The SFI distribution subsidy was meant to be a customer acquisition and user acquisition strategy that showed that we had a working product with the tranche system and interest redistribution on mainnet working in November. Eventually, we will have to provide product with value and have to find demand for that product to be able to provide high APYs and to be able to provide the coverage that people are looking for in DeFi. This is something that is our core mission and is something that we are looking at closely and figuring out how to work with DeFi power users and how to work with the regular DeFi participant on making it their experience in DeFi more safe and giving them a better return based on the risk tolerance that they have.
Okay. Two more here. So the second last one is, could you not theoretically create a Urine Vault strategy that farms SFI, assuming the current emission schedule remains unchanged? And if so, would you be open to creating one?
We could create a strategy such as this, and I think that the SFI emissions will at least continue for a couple of epochs after Epoch 8 to give the plateau epoch emissions chance to give users a strategy such as this. Rari is very similar to Yearn, and we're looking into integrating bigger vaults and more underlying earning options into our product that aren't just lending platforms. So yes, in the end, we are going to work with as many DeFi protocols as possible to build something that is unique, build something that gives people value in the system. I'm definitely open to creating anything like this and encourage users to suggest this and get others thinking about what we can do with Saffron to make it a useful protocol.
Okay. And then the last question here is that you mentioned something about multi-pools in the DeFi Omega AMA. Is this something that is currently being implemented, or do you have plans to implement it?
This is not currently a priority, but can be added once we've got a solid Oracle solution implemented. I think that this might be something that we can look into for fixed income, as changing different currencies into other currencies might be a palatable option for users that are looking for fixed income and don't really care about which currency they're currently farming.
Okay, perfect. Those are all the questions that we have gotten in for the Google Doc forum. Cy, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for going out of your way to answer all these. And I think this has been certainly illuminating, hopefully for our audience and for our community.
Thank you, Dingo. I would like to encourage other users to ask questions as much as they can in Telegram and Discord, and to feel free to reach out to our team to ask anything that they may be wondering about Saffron.
Okay, that'll do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.